Bullies kidnapped quiet farm girl. Minutes later her Delta Force husband arrived. The night was quiet over the rolling fields of wheat, a thin silver mist hanging low to the ground. On the outskirts of a small farming town, Emma walked home from the little grocery store where she had picked up flour and milk for her grandmother. Emma was known in town as the quiet farm girl, shy, gentle, never one to argue or draw attention. She worked tirelessly on her family's farm, spending most of her time in the fields or caring for animals. People admired her kindness, but some mistook her silence for weakness. And weakness is what the wrong kind of men thought they saw in her that evening. The sound of gravel crunching under tires snapped Emma's head around. A black pickup truck slowed to a crawl beside her. She quickened her pace, but the truck stopped completely, and 3 men jumped out. They were not strangers, they were the same bullies who had harassed her in high school, older now, rougher, with lives wasted on drinking and violence. "Thought you'd just walk past us, farm girl," one sneered, his voice slurred but sharp. Emma tried to keep walking, her heart pounding. "Leave me alone," she whispered, clutching the grocery bag tighter. But they didn't leave her alone. One grabbed her arm, another yanked the bag from her hands, spilling milk across the dirt road. Their laughter echoed through the night as Emma struggled. She screamed, but there was no one nearby. The farmhouses were spread far apart, the town already asleep. They forced her into the truck. Her cries faded as the vehicle roared off into the darkness. Dash, dash, dash. Back at the farm, another sound broke the stillness of the night, the distant hum of a motorcycle. A powerful black Harley cut through the fog, and its rider, Michael, pulled into the driveway. He was Emma's husband, though most of the town barely knew him. He didn't talk much about his work, but those who knew whispered that he had once served in the most elite unit of the U.S. military, Delta Force. To Emma, though, he wasn't just a soldier. He was the man who had seen her when no one else did. While others teased her quiet ways, Michael had admired her strength, her loyalty, and the warmth she carried into the coldest of days. They had met by chance when his unit was passing through town years ago, and though their worlds were different, their hearts had recognized each other instantly. As Michael stepped into the farmhouse, he noticed the empty kitchen table. Emma should have been back by now. His instincts sharpened. He dialed her phone. No answer. He tried again. Silence. Then he saw it, the grocery bag on the floor of the dirt road half a mile away, milk soaking into the dust. His chest tightened. The soldier in him woke instantly. Emma was in trouble. Dash, dash, dash. Meanwhile, the bullies dragged Emma into an abandoned barn at the edge of the forest. They bound her hands with rough rope, mocking her, their laughter bouncing off the wooden walls. One of them leaned close, his voice dripping with cruelty. "You always thought you were too good for us. Too quiet, too stuck up. Not tonight." Emma's heart raced, but even in fear she refused to break. She thought of Michael, of his steady hands and calm voice. He had once told her, "If you ever feel powerless, remember, courage isn't the absence of fear. It's standing even when your knees shake." She held onto that thought. Dash, dash, dash. Michael's motorcycle roared like thunder as he followed the faint trail of tire tracks into the woods. His training had taught him how to see patterns others missed. Broken twigs, a fresh footprint, the faint smell of gasoline, the trail led him straight to the barn. He killed the engine, silence swallowing the night again. His heart pounded, but his movements were precise, calm. He had faced war zones, ambushes, impossible missions. But this was different. This was personal. Inside the barn, the men were too caught up in their cruelty to notice the shadow slipping through the side door. Michael moved like a predator, silent, calculating. "Let her go," his voice thundered suddenly, cutting through the laughter. The bullies froze. Their bravado cracked when they saw him, tall, broad, his eyes cold with fury. One scoffed nervously. "And who do you think you are?" Michael stepped forward, his voice low but deadly calm. "Her husband." Dash, dash, dash. What happened next was fast, brutal, and unforgettable. The first man lunged, swinging a fist. Michael sidestepped, grabbed his arm, and twisted until the bone cracked with a sickening snap. The second tried to rush him with a metal pipe, but Michael disarmed him in a single move, driving the man to the ground with military precision. The third, shaking, reached for a knife, but Michael's boot sent it flying. Emma watched through tearful eyes as her husband dismantled the men who had once tormented her. For the first time, she realized just how dangerous Michael's past had been, and how much strength he carried quietly, just as she did. When it was over, the bullies lay groaning on the barn floor, too broken to move. Michael rushed to Emma, cutting the ropes from her wrists and pulling her into his arms. "You're safe," he whispered, holding her trembling body against his chest. "I knew you'd come," she breathed, tears streaming down her face. The authorities arrived later, taking the bullies into custody. The town would soon hear the story, the quiet farm girl who had been targeted, and the mysterious husband who had come like a storm to protect her. But Emma didn't care about the rumors or the whispers that would spread. What mattered was the way Michael held her hand all the way home, his touch steady, his presence unshakable. In the days that followed, Emma found her voice. She no longer walked with her head lowered. The girl who had been bullied and mocked had faced her greatest fear and survived. She learned that her silence had never been weakness, it had been strength in disguise. And Michael reminded her of something she had always forgotten: courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it speaks quietly in the way you endure, in the way you rise again after others try to break you. The story of Emma and Michael became more than just a tale of danger and rescue. It became a reminder to everyone in the small town that even the quietest souls can be the strongest, and love, when it's true, can turn ordinary people into warriors. By the end, Emma understood that she was never just a farm girl. She was the heart of a soldier, the reason he fought, and the proof that even in the darkest night, hope always finds its way home. Sparkle's message of the story. No one is defined by the cruelty of others. Even the quietest person can hold unshakable strength, and true love has the power to conquer fear, heal wounds, and protect what matters most.